We have got the reported favourite for the WrestleMania 39 Night 1 headliner. The identity of Uncle Howdy has been revealed, and WWE are using crowd plants to boo a top NXT star. Stay tuned. WrestleMania 39 is fast approaching, and it's looking like a decent card. We're going to talk through the card in just a little bit, but it's looking good. You hyped?
Yeah, always hyped for WrestleMania.
Stay hyped.
But this year feels different, right? It feels
big.
I feel like a bit of a sucker, kind of thinking that far ahead. But it feels like it's going to be a big one.
I think this year's going to be even better, genuinely. So, some notes from the Observer that's just been released. Reigns versus Rhodes is expected to headline the second night. Perhaps a surprise to some. This may be a surprise, but the internal favourite right now for WrestleMania 39 Night 1 is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. It's noted here, if there is an Usos versus Zayn and Kevin Owens match, that might be the other favourite, but we don't know as of yet. I think that's a more than worthy headliner, especially with like Rhea going over, big babyface triumph, grandest stage of them all. There's nobody that deserves it more.
Triumph.
Huh?
The big babyface triumph.
Oh, she is. Come on, behave. She is.
She is.
Of course she is. She truly, truly deserves it, and I think it's a great way to cap off and maybe usher in a bit of a new era. I'm not saying that Charlotte and that are going anywhere.
Well, Rhea and Charlotte have kind of had that history between them already.
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of a bit of an insurmountable thing for Rhea the first time they kind of clashed, and I think that this would be a good way to, I guess, open the page on that new chapter for WWE's women's division, because as you said, it's not like they're going away, but it's sort of like, if you think back, like, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time. And, I'll often sit there and say, well, it's not really that long since Charlotte's been with the company. And it's like, it has. It's been a long time.
And the new faces, it's Bianca, it's Rhea, and the ilk. We've also got rumoured WrestleMania card so far. A few of these have been announced. There's so much that hasn't been formally announced. Right now, only 3 matches are set in stone. So we're going to go through these. There's a few interesting notes on some of them as well. First off, we got Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. We all know that's happening. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. It's been reported that match is going to be going to go ahead rather. And it's the only thing that we know is that whatever the Lesnar plan actually was, and it wasn't Gunther, that's changed in the last week or two.
How can you F5 Omos? How can you? Surely you
He's
get
not
him
strong enough.
Surely
He's a
you get
weak
him
man,
up to
is Brock.
spin, and then you start lifting off like a helicopter.
He did it to the Big Show like 50 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Omos is bigger than Big Show. Big Show's only 5'11".
Do you reckon who do you reckon weighs more? Show. It's got to be Show.
Gotta be Show.
He's bigger, isn't he? Hence the name. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. That's a lock, of course. I think it'd be a great match, that one as well. Edge versus Balor. As noted before, the original plan for this was Hell in a Cell, but due to Edge's filming commitments, they don't want to do Hell in a Cell, which I don't actually have a problem with, because I'm happy for Hell in a Cell to go away for a little bit. We've talked about this before.
We've said before. I think that Hell in a Cell has, as a pay-per-view, it's kind of diluted its very own concept, hasn't it?
Yeah, but just the match, I'd be happy not seeing one for even a couple of years. I'm not saying this match isn't worthy of being in Hell in a Cell, but maybe one in a year's time, 2 years' time will be more so.
Maybe they actually wanted to do it for the Rumble. They got it out and they went, it's red, isn't it? And they got the heat guns out, but it was going to take ages, so it's taken them until Mania to get it back to being silver.
He's figured it out, bloody hell. It is noted that there's probably going to be, or it's thought that there will be a major stipulation to the match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler challenging for the women's tag team titles is the plan. We talked about this in the earlier video. Obviously, we got the tag title match coming up. And maybe not a surprise, but with WrestleMania being about marquee matches, it's noted that Lita and Lynch as a team against Baszler and Rousey is a bigger match than having the Damage Control ladies in there.
You could do a 3-way tag, but it starts to get a bit confusing.
I think it's a shame. I feel a bit bad for Damage Control, but their time will come, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that I wish they'd done a little bit more with them and allowed them to have a lot more impact.
I agree. Like the debut at SummerSlam, I thought, man, this is good. This is
it.
Potential
It felt like a really big sort of statement moment.
One of the best female stables ever. It had all that potential, and it's just sort of, I wouldn't say it's fizzled out. It's just been a bit underwhelming, perhaps. Next up, Austin Theory versus John Cena for the US title. I think a lot of people are expecting that. Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. Wyatt challenged the winner of Lashley-Lesnar. Lesnar, and then Lashley mentioned Wyatt in the promo, of course. I think this is a perhaps make or break for Wyatt. This needs to be something special.
Yeah, it's very strange because I remember sitting there in Cardiff talking to a couple of other people like from other outlets, and it was like very exciting about Bray at the time. And largely nothing's happened that was different in that time since.
The way I
it's
feel
all just
about
kind
it,
of gone on, and
it's
it's a bit like I love him and I want nothing but the best for him, but it's kind of, it's got to get off the pot.
Yeah, it does. I'm entertained by Bray being on TV, right? But it always just feels like there's not enough development. I'm initially I was like, cool, slow burn, I'm all right with that. But it's been a while now.
But it's like a glacier now.
Yeah, right. Next up, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. They've been holding off on this for ages.
Hit him with
they
the
want to do it the
splash,
biggest.
Dom. Hit him with the frog splash. Put him away. He's not even your dad.
I want Rey to win. I want Ray to
and
win,
then afterwards, he puts Dominic over his knee and smacks his bottom.
Well, quite frankly, he used to beat Dominic at WWE 2K14, was it? So good.
I can't wait to beat my kids.
And finally, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, in case you missed that one. Next up, it's been noted. Sorry?
I don't see that one happening.
No, that'd be
Who wants to watch either of those guys wrestle?
Next up, the identity of Uncle Howdy has been revealed. And just a little note here, it's been confirmed, at least by Dave Meltzer, that it is indeed Bo Dallas.
They have the same earring and everything.
Do they?
Yeah, that was how people indicated it at first. The little crucifix earring.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
People were like, oh, it's Bo Dallas. But I think the confirmation, I don't like the Bo Selector mask. I really don't like the Bo Selector mask.
That'll be off soon, right?
Yeah, you got to think that there's going to be something more going on underneath it.
I'm happy he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Big time. Like he's
kicking
somebody,
about on a farm with
he's
Liv Morgan. Miserable.
But he's somebody who he did everything that was thrown his way. And
he was good.
Given the status he held in NXT, I thought he was going to be a much bigger deal on the main roster. And then they just kind of filed him away. And it was a bit like, he can do so much more than you're letting him do. But I think having the chance to come back and just show a different side to himself,
the
really
Bo
cool.
Lever gimmick thing was brilliant. I really, really thought it had legs. Maybe it's not a main roster thing. Maybe. I don't know if we'll see Bo Dallas, his little face, before WrestleMania. Maybe that'll be a big WrestleMania moment.
What's been out? He's wearing the mask because he's having his face shrank to be tiny.
It works though. Bo Selector, Bo Dallas. Yeah, the clues were there, right? It's all about cryptic clues. Finally, we're finishing off with a note from Wrestling Observer Radio.
This is bizarre.
It is a bit. I mean, right. So this is about a top NXT star, the top NXT star, right? Bron Breakker. Some of the negative reactions to him have been plants, right? This has been confirmed again by Meltzer. So he's been feuding with Jinder, and Jinder was like, oh, some of the fans are turning on you, and they showed some really, what I thought were obvious plants in the crowd. Maybe people didn't get
bloke
that.
in a suit with the WWE company badge on. Boo!
Right.
Boo this man!
Still got his earpiece in, notepad.
Looking at his show running order. Boo!
So I don't really get it. Maybe it's to give him some depth. Maybe this is going to be like, because Carmelo Hayes, who is going to be challenging Bron, is so over. Maybe this is a double turn, and maybe this is so that Bron Breakker can go, hey, you were never into me, even though most people generally like him. He's probably not as hot as Hayes at this point, but you were never into me. Remember when you were booing me? Because nobody's actually really booing him.
It's just bizarre that we hear quite a lot through history. You know, oh, it was plants cheering, and it was plants
put there to
granny. And now to have plants doing the opposite, to have plants booing, I just find that hilarious. I think it's wonderful.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Wrestling.
Anyway, it's wrestling. There you go. Sam and Fraser will be back with news tomorrow. Hope some of you managed to get your money in the bank tickets. It seems that they're all gone now.
They're all combo. There's so many combos.
You don't want to do SmackDown as well?
I can't. 2 nights in London. What do you think I'm made of?
You can check still. Cultaholic.com/MITB using promo code WWECH. See if there's any there, but it's not looking good. If you got tickets, well done.
Single tickets are apparently coming at a later date.
Oh, there you go.
There's going to be more released, so just keep your eyes peeled.
Brew brand? I'm tired.
Brew
My
brand.
eyes aren't working. See you later. Bye.